Many of them are completely demolished, and most of them are, the walls are askew, the roof is sagging, and so forth. Trees have been chopped down all the way. Now I'm curving around and following the path of it. It seems to have turned a little bit then toward the east, and this is over the Zachary Taylor area, just north of Zachary Taylor Monument. It cut a swath through this area, again taking the roof and in many cases the second floor off the houses in this area, and then it crossed the Waterson near I-71. By the way, folks, traffic obviously is at a complete standstill in all of these areas that I've talked about. Trees, emergency equipment, everything. It just is not moving at all. Looking ahead here, I-71 is at a standstill. The Waterson is at a standstill here at the intersection, and now wait a minute, just beyond this point, I believe, I'm not sure because I'm still a mile away, but I think this is about the tail end of the worst damage here. This seems to be about where it started lifting and dissipating. So that's the path from Standiford Field up through Crescent Hill and out here into the Waterson and I-71 area. And I have seen some pretty bad stuff in my career in Iowa and Indiana, those areas. I don't believe I've seen anything to equal this.
The tornado warning is in effect until 6:30 for persons in Nelson, Anderson, Woodford, Franklin, Scott, Fayette, and Jessamine counties in Kentucky. At 5:16, as Louisville and southern Indiana began to survey tornado damage, more tornado warnings were coming in the direction of Frankfort. A tornado warning is in effect still for... While that new tornado warning was being repeated at 5:25, News Director Glenn Baston made contact with Governor Ford.
Glenn?
Yes, Governor. We're on the air live, sir.
Okay, it's pretty rough all over, and Louisville, of course, has been hit pretty hard. Judge Hollenbach has asked for the National Guardsmen, and so has Mel Gentry, who is the acting mayor there. And we've already dispatched National Guardsmen to the fairgrounds, which has a unit's armory there, and the National Guardsmen out of St. Matthews have been called up, and we're sending a unit to Brandenburg, for instance, and up to Bedford and and Irvington area. So we're trying to prevent looting and that sort of thing if it should occur. I understand the weather's beginning to moderate some in Louisville, and hopefully we can get in there as fast as we can and assist those people in the best way we can. Our latest information is that all roads practically in and out of Louisville are clogged, and we just need the cooperation of the people there now to be calm and not get irritated. And there goes my phone again, and we'll just do the best we can in a bad situation.
Governor, I thank you. I know that phone's going to be ringing considerably. Again, thank you, and I won't take up any more of your time.
Glenn, we'll be glad to cooperate with you in any way. The helicopter report's been just wonderful, and we want to compliment everybody in Louisville for cooperating. We already have our command post up, I guess Tommy told you, at the fairgrounds, and we're doing everything we can. And under the circumstances, it seems like it's so little, but everything we have is at the people's disposal.
We have a little later update on that storm that was over Lebanon Junction earlier. Right now, radar shows that near Grafenberg, heading right for Frankfort. And that was the big one down around Lebanon Junction about a half an hour ago. And right now, at 5:30, it's right near Grafenberg, heading for Frankfort.
While concern mounted about other tornadoes present in Kentucky, information and official reaction regarding tornado damage began to pour in.
We have an important message here for all members of the Kentucky State Police who live in the Louisville area. They are to call the Elizabethtown post immediately.
The Madison Indiana Chief of Police has asked Governor Otis Bowen to mobilize the Indiana National Guard. That request came as tornadoes bounced across Indiana, causing at least 11 deaths.
I'm with Walter Frederick, who is town marshal of the town of Palmyra. And Mr. Frederick, what is the extent of damage that you've noticed so far?
Well, the extent that we see from here and around that I have seen already, it's a strip here that's about 1.5 miles wide, and no telling how long as of yet. that it's almost totally demolished.
What is the situation from your office, Judge Hollenbeck?
Glenn, the worst problem of the storm is concentrated in the eastern part of the county. We've called out the entire 24-hour patrol.
It's now 9 minutes before 6, and the effects of this storm we're still tabulating here at WHAS. We have been told that there was some problem at the water company's main pumping station in Crescent Hill. Now, on the line with us at the moment is the water company's chief engineer, Frank Campbell. Frank, would you update us, please?
All right, I'm at the Crescent Hill pumping station. We had a direct hit from the tornado. All power is out. We have not assessed the full range of damage. We presume that when we get power again, that we will be able to pump water. However, the present situation looks very dark. We do have water stored in our reservoir. Normally it is an 8-hour supply. We've asked for an all-points bulletin for all unnecessary uses of water to be stopped, and through this manner we hope to stretch this supply. Now, in addition to this, we are investigating the eastern county area where water is supplied by booster pressure, and we do not know what the situation there is, but supplies there will be even more limited than for the city of Louisville.
Are all of your areas in the city affected, Frank?
Well, all our telephone communications are out to our instruments, and so we don't know what the levels are.
We're well aware of extensive damage in Louisville and Jefferson County, and news people and authorities are out in force now trying to find out where the hardest hit areas were, and there will be help there sometime within the next few hours, we can assume. This is WHAS News. The time is 2 minutes past 6.
We might point out to those of you who probably are tuning in, or some of you are tuning in to hear the world tonight, we are going to preempt that broadcast because of the weather situation in Kentuckiana, so that we can continue to update that information. John Burke is getting a briefing from his people right at the moment. He is on the line, and as soon as he gets the latest from all of the meteorologists that he has on duty out at the National Weather Service, we will get the latest from him. We have had here in the studio, they have had in the newsroom, and they have had at our switchboard here at WHAS, numerous reports of a tremor in the south end. Now, what this is, whether or not it is some side effect of the winds or something of that nature, we don't know. It is, quite honestly, at this moment, unexplained. But we are getting reports from the south end, the southern sections of Jefferson County, that they have had some sort of tremor. And for those of you who are located out there, as soon as we can track this down and get some explanation for it, we will give you that information. Well, something that we wish we did not have to report to you. Bob Johnson has just told us that there are at least 7 known dead in Kentucky as a result of the tornadoes, including 1 in Jefferson County. The death in Jefferson County reported from the city civil defense headquarters. We have no other details on that. The state police say that there are 2 known dead at Elizabethtown, 3 near Irvington and Meade County, another near Samuels and Nelson County. John, what's it look like now?
Well, Glenn, right now, radar is showing a well-developed storm down around Danville. Probably not as bad as the one that went through here. Nevertheless, it is a sizable storm, a dangerous storm. It's moving east-northeast to between 50 and 60 miles an hour. That would take it somewhere around the Richmond area, on over into the Madison County, Clark County, on over in that area, the Richmond, Kentucky area. And the other one apparently moved near Frankfort. Whether or not it went across the city, we cannot say. It is east of Frankfort now, 10 miles or so east of Frankfort, heading in the direction of Georgetown, Paris, in that direction, but certainly I'm not trying to indicate it's going to strike those towns, but in that general direction, so persons in those areas, that's east of Frankfort, over in the Georgetown, Paris areas, on up into, that would be in Bourbon County, and on up into Harrison and Nicholas and Bath County. They're moving so rapidly, 50 or 60 miles an hour.
Fred Welch is on the line for me from Frankfort. And Fred, I understand that you saw the storm when it passed through the Frankfort area, and perhaps you can fill us in on what you saw there.
Well, I'll tell you, the way I saw it, of course, I saw it on the radar on television, and so I went up in the second story, and there's a door opens up, and so I looking out the door and spotting it, and as soon as I spotted over to, I believe it's to the southwest a bit. I saw the turbulence, and I saw it snaking around there, and it passed, I judged around the interstate on the Kentucky River and came right along there and came through, let's say, southeast Frankfort in the vicinity of the interstate intersection with US 60, more or less between 421 and 60, what the locality is known as Jet.
Was there much damage in that area, Fred?
Well, sir, that's where the Ramada Inn is, and the industrial park. It half demolished the Taylor Tot factory. All telephone poles are down, trees are uprooted. There's a church, a Christian church out there. Its roof is off. Of course, we couldn't go very far because of the traffic was tied up with the telephone poles and the trees and everything. But the way it looks, it took everything between, well, let's say, between US 421, which is a road to Lexington, and the interstate intersection.
Okay, thank you very much, Fred Welch. Here's Glenn Baston.
Righto.
Chuck, I hate to interrupt you, but we have been requested to ask all firemen and policemen in the Frankfort area to report to work. The Civil Defense Headquarters in Frankfort tells us that they need ambulances in the Frankfort area badly. This is all firemen and policemen in the Frankfort area. Please report to work. They also need ambulances badly, we are told by Civil Defense Headquarters in Frankfort. Now, we were told by the acting mayor, Alderman Gentry, just a few minutes ago on another line, that they are having a considerable amount of trouble with people attempting to sightsee. Please do not go out onto the streets of Louisville. They need all of the room that they can to move these emergency vehicles around and to get in and out. Bud, I've got the live microphone. Bud Harbsmeyer just walked in again.
We've been requested by police in West Point, Kentucky, to ask sightseers to stay off the roads leading to Brandenburg, Kentucky. Brandenburg, Kentucky was hit by a tornado also, apparently quite a bit of damage there. Kentucky Road 1638 has been closed to all but emergency equipment. And once again, the police at West Point are turning back all sightseers.
Glenn Baston.
Well, I have on the line right now, Byron, St. Louis University, the Department of Geology. When I merely introduced myself, you asked, did I feel the earthquake? What have we had?
You've had an earthquake of approximately magnitude 4.5 on the Richter scale. Our recordings of it so far indicate it occurred about 130 miles to the east of St. Louis, which should put it in southern Illinois, most likely. This is the largest earthquake in this area since the 1968 earthquake, November 9th. And we've had felt reports from the St. Louis area, Springfield, Illinois, and now Louisville, Kentucky also.
We have just gone through a tremendous afternoon here of severe weather. We have a considerable amount of damage. There could be no relation in these two, I'm sure. Would that be a correct assumption?
There would be no relation whatsoever to this.
It's just a little after 7. It's 1 after 7 on WHAS Louisville. Give Byron a chance to get something cold down his throat. It was very, very strange sitting here this afternoon, reading all of the reports, not really knowing what was going on, and then just like a shock, that first report from traffic tracker Dick Gilbert about what he saw. And having had a large, vast experience in covering things like this all over the country, Dick said that this was one of the, well, one of the worst he had ever seen. And the way he actually traced the tornado that went through Jefferson County.